Rise and shine with Global Entertainment News Morning Buzz. I am your host, Bella, ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, bring our own spark to the studio is Usola. Let's dive into today's top story right from Leadership and Daily Post. Top story from the Daily Post. Court remanded two suspects for allegedly raping minor in KB. A magistrate court in Benin, Kebbi, has ordered the remand of two suspects accused of raping and impregnating underage girl in Guadu and Amboza town. Presiding, Presiding Magistrate Atiku Abubakar issued the remand order after hearing the charge against the defendant who pleaded not guilty. The case have originated called for federal government to expedite minor cases and decongest overcrowded prison. Prosecutor Inspector Muhammad Kamba told the court that the first defendant, Farouk Malami, alias Maimbode, a resident of Dalanjan village in Kwandu, LGA, local government, raped a 14-year-old girl, Fatima Abubakar. 4 months ago, the accused reportedly threatened to kill her if she disclosed the assault and confiscated her phone. The victim is now 4 months pregnant. The charge against Malame include rape, criminal intimidation, and assault under the section 241, 259, 378, and 138 of KB State Penal Code.
This is so sad. Imagine you raping someone 14-year-old child and in her getting pregnant. Like it is so sad. Let's talk about the trauma she would have gone through. Should we talk about the pain, how she would have been feeling? Imagine you raping a child and you're still telling the person that if the person speaks out, the person is going to die. It is so bad.
Well, we have those things happening, let me say, of a frequency of that happening in the northern part that a minor can be given out for a marriage. But I
Not
feel
to
like
talk
the
of rape.
government have to settle this down that an abuse to a minor has to be a jail term that is going to cost one his life. Let me not just going to put it as for the male side alone, but we should also the government has to also look at both the female and the male side of it that a minor's life and the child abuse is something that is going to land you in prison forever. Well, let's move on. Police moves to curtail violence as hoodlum touch hunts in Lamude, Goiki. Adamawa State Police Command is taking steps to curtail spread of violence after hoodlums touch Datech hot in communities in Lamude and Goiki, two neighboring local government areas in southern Adamawa. The command says in the early hour of Thursday that in two separate incidents reported on 2nd July 2025, unidentified persons set fire to the Daiche hut in Lapia, Lamunde LGEA, and Boshikri village, Guide LGEA. Properties belong to Ms. Odudunga Kenneth and Mr. Nora Haruna were completely destroyed in the attack, the command says in a statement signed by the properties belong to signed by Nogujo stated that the State Commissioner of Police CP Dankombo Maurice has ordered a discreet investigation and immediate deployment of police personnel to prevent further escalation and ensure the arrest of the perpetrator.
When we are talking about the government are not doing well
or anything like that can actually do any impossible things with the fear that nobody is going to caught up with them. And I really appreciate the police CPs that is already taking the step to try to investigate them and put them in their rightful place, because crime is not welcome in
at
Nigeria.
all.
Let's move on. Six arrested for illegal waste dumping in Agege, Lagos. Lagos State government has arrested six persons for illegal refuse dumping on a road media along the old Abeokuta Expressway opposite the Total Police Station in Agege. The arrests were carried out on Wednesday evening by a joint enforcement team comprising operatives from the Kick Against Indiscipline KAI unit and official of the Military of the Environment and Water Resources. The Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokumbo Wahab, confirmed the development via his verified X handle, noting that the offender were apprehended in the act of discriminate waste disposal. The arrest suspect has been identified as Kafela Mohammed, Sanusi Bello, Monsuru Salusi, Uzo Michael Obi Ajoke Shobande. According to the commissioner, the suspects will be prosecuted in line with existing environmental law aimed at curbing discriminate waste disposal and promoting a cleaner and healthier Lagos.
Kudos to those that arrested, but we also should try when they say okay, don't throw things at the road or anything. We should try to listen. If they are trying to do things, we should help them. When they are saying that we should not do something and we ourselves are turning a deaf ear to it, how do you want it to improve? There is no way they can curb it at all.
I feels like this is the actual right way for the government to actually curb this
Yeah,
waste dumping, because there have been so many complaints about Lagos being having a, let me say, should I even say, a bad pollution, air pollution, let me put it that way, that the Lagos has been air polluted in a recent, and then many people has testified to it. So if the Lagos State Environmental and Water Resources is trying to actually put a better ways to actually maintain the city, then the people that are living there also needed to actually abide by the
incorporate.
law
Yeah.
for not going against it. Well, on top story from the leadership newspaper we have for you. Court jail two Beninese, order 5 years for trafficking 5.6 kilogram of cocaine. Justice Ambrose Louis Alago of the Federal High Court in Lagos has convicted and sentenced two Benin national and two Nigerians to 5 years in prison each of smuggling 5.622 kilograms of cocaine into Nigeria. Justice Louis Alago jailed Feno Perelli and known as Fanon Mariel Mondoha Hilda, both from Benin, Akande Olayemi, also known as Akande Olayemi Babatunde, and Laude Fadakemi, both Nigerians. After they pled guilty to the charge, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has docked the convicts before the court on a three-count charge of conspiracy, trafficking, and possession of a controlled substance. The prosecutor, Andova Yam, had accused the convicts, along with others still at large, of conspiring on June 2nd, 2025 at the Seme border in Badagry local government area, Lagos State, to smuggle cocaine with a street value of approximately 889,916,000 into the country. He maintained that the offense are contrary to Section 14B, 11A, and 19 of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act Cap 13 Law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004.
Yeah,
As I mentioned.
this is a good one because the audacity you have to bring a cocaine of weight 5.622 kilogram from another country to this Nigeria. They think they can do anything and go scot free in Nigeria. That because this kind of thing they are doing, they can't do it in US. They can't do it in another country. They feel no Nigeria, they don't do anything, they are nonchalant to everything. So it's kudos to them. Kudos to
I
them.
feels like the drug law, the drugs. Let me just put it that the illegal substance that have we have been talking about has been on a regular move these days. This is not just the first person that have been arrested. Some are on their way to Dubai, some are on their way to US, some are on their way to let me call it Indian, and even some were coming from
Other
other France
countries.
country down to Nigeria, and then this thing has really been an alarming for the National Drug Law Enforcement to
Yes.
actually look into this. How is this drugs has been on the movement for months now, and then every news has to carry it about a drug law. It's not like Nigeria is being nonchalant about it, but we haven't actually identified the main culprits of this drug movement in Nigeria that have become a rampant or a business for most Nigerian people that you don't even expect are into drug movement. So I feel security personnel should now be tightened in the both border and the airport way that needed to be checked properly. Well, let's move on. Imo government demolish criminal hideouts, arrest orders. In a bold and uncompromising move to sanitize the state and reclaim public space from the grip of criminality, the Imo state government has demolished a notorious criminal hideout in Ama Hausa, Owerri. The hideouts, which serve as a hub for drug peddling, gun running, and all manner of illicit activity, was brought down during a high-impact operation led by the governor's special advisor on monitoring and compliance, Nze Chinasa Owen. This device operation, captured in a now circulating video, underscore the Uzodinma-led administration's zero tolerance policy on criminal and its unwavering commitment to restoring law and order across the state. According to Eze Nwere, the targeted structure had long been under surveillance after being identified as a den for hardened criminals who specialize in trafficking hard drugs, illegal arms, and aiding other violent crimes that have threatened the peace and security of residents. Following a tip-off by a patriotic citizen who brought it to the attention of the state government.
Yeah, I think this is a good one. If this keep happening every day, Nigeria will be, Nigeria will be free from all these criminals, these bandits, these drug addicts, all these things. Nigeria will be free from there. It is a good one.
I think Governor Uzodinma has really been putting more
Yeah.
work into the Imo state to actually clean up the criminal activity. A kudos to the government as well, and also the security personnel. They have been doing so well, and it feels like every other government of each and every state in the country needed to start looking up to to clear out some illegal criminal that is hiding out. They have a
Mm-hmm.
big hideouts that it's not just as if they walk on the road, so they have to make sure that every surveillance and intelligence are being reported, and then it should be taken out properly.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Strike the fate of FCT primary school teachers, pupil. The public primary education system in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) is now in a state of prolonged paralysis following an industrial action by primary school teachers that has dragged on for more than 2 months. At the heart of the strike is a long-standing dispute over the non-implementation of the new national minimum wage by the sixth area council that oversees the local education authority. This the impasse has left classrooms deserted, school gates locked, and thousands of pupils stranded with no end in sight. The Nigerian Union of Teachers (FCT) wing made its stand clear in a communique issued at an emergency state wing standing committee meeting held on March 22, 2025 in Gwagwalada. The union expressed deep frustration with failure of the area council to implement reverse wage structured and settle wage arrears, a demand they consider non-negotiable in the face of rising economic hardship.
One of the things we should not be talking about is education, health, in time of all this scarcity, everything. These teachers need to be paid. Their money, their wages are ought not to be delayed. The first thing they ought to do is paying the teachers' wages, the health sectors, the everything should be done appropriately. Imagine the teachers not going to school. Who will this affect? It won't affect the government. Neither will it affect the leaders because none of their children are here. It will affect the pupils going to school, the students in schools. Look at them now. A lot of things they have missed out from. Where do they want to start from? Some will not be transferred to another class due to them not even taking a section because it will affect them greatly. The government needs to look into this.
We have always have a challenge when it comes to the
Education.
payments of those that work for the government. It's really exciting to notice that our leaders are taking their employees for granted when it comes to the health sector, the federal hospital, the let me say the state school, the government school, and all that is being unattended to. When you look at all these things are part of the things that actually impact a country and move them forward.
Mm-hmm.
If those old pupils in primary school are already missing out of school of something that they needed to become tomorrow, and then it's been delayed and cut short because of the negligence of our government,
Government.
then we feel like this administration is not capable enough to actually lead or actually put us into the right path. Well, I thank you for joining us. This is the end of the show. I've been your host, Bella. I hope you enjoyed today's program. Be sure to share, like, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, have a blessed and lovely day. Bye.